Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Law and Order Legacies. Trying to rush through this. We're past the point in which I care.
Gondapur is hiding something.
Barely haven't even gotten
evidence
halfway
tying
through the
Gandapur
game.
to any of the murders.
But
Believe
I
me,
just
if Gandapur's involved
wanna
somehow, I'd
get it
love to
done.
nail him. But we don't have
These
nearly
stories
enough
don't
for a
interest
warrant.
me.
Find a connection between him and Jackson. Sorry, but that's the
I've
best
never
I can
really
do.
been interested in these real world crime
Patty's
drama
parole officer
shows.
was able to get us his
They're
appointment
not
and
realistic.
several other records from the landscaping
They're
company
overly
reports.
simplified
Gondapur was
and
one
they're
of Jackson's customers?
kind of
The
like
landscaper he worked for had
mysteries
clients
that
all
you're
over
not
Long
expected to
Island.
actually
It's possible.
solve. It's not like a
Patty
Sherlock
Jackson
Holmes
used to call from his
story
work
where
phone
you
to David Gondapur on
potentially
October 20th.
might try to
The
solve
same
it,
day
even though
Gondapur
those
paid
stories were often
$227, which
not
Jackson collected.
solvable
Looks
either,
like we found our
because there
paper
was
trail.
always evidence that was
Mr.
hidden.
David Gondapur, we have a warrant to search this property for evidence relating to the murders of Wendy Crane and Angelica Moore.
Very well, please, come inside. Shall I have some iced tea made?
Actually, we'll start with the garden shed, if you don't mind.
When's the last time you were in the shed, Mr. Gondapur?
I suppose I am in and out quite often. I like to do some of my own gardening. It relaxes me. Mr. Jackson and I have become fast friends as a result. He is quite talented.
I'll keep an eye on Gondapur while you have a look.
We're doing 2 searches here because we already know the backstory of this episode is that 2 serial killers are going to point a finger at each other. So we now have to find basically the same evidence we found in the previous episode, but in the possession of this guy.
Found some blood on this cutting tool. Could be Wendy's.
That's a weird cutting tool. That must be a limb cutter. Let's see. Looking for zip ties. And the zip ties come in a bottle. So any one of these bottles might be the zip ties. Here's some duct tape.
More duct tape. Same as the kind we found in Patty's van.
This is quite a high number of aerosol products to have in a shed. Here's the zip ties. They're not animated or drawn very well.
Zip tie. Same brand, same color as we found in Patty's van. Forensics may even be able to tell if they're from the same store-bought pack.
We're also looking for a shovel. So we'll draw this shovel.
No surprise to find a shovel here. But if any of the dirt found on it matches the soil in which the Mangler victims were buried, that'd be powerful physical evidence to convince a jury.
And see, inherently the problem is the problem with the real justice system is that these TV shows have trained juries and people who get on juries, the normal people, that all police have the budgeting and ability to discover pretty much everything possible, and it's not true. A lot of the stuff that's shown on TV is the fake stuff. The running gag on the internet is enhanced. You have a very low resolution image, and yet somehow you can make that low resolution enhance itself to be higher resolution than it started off with, which is beyond reality. It's not possible. Or the DNA matches are the same. Even simple things like drug tests, many of the labs are more scams than actual scientific matching. They simply ask the police whether they want it to come back as a match or not, and the police tell them, yes, I want this to match, and they say, fine, it matched. That's why more eyewitness testimony should be in this case, even though eyewitness testimony is not that great either. Inherently, the concept of reasonable doubt is being eroded through fictional stories and the belief that everybody on trial is guilty without question. It seems like there's something back here. Is this a deodorizer?
Air freshener. Could be the same type used in Patty's van to hide the smell of decom. Forensics will be able to tell me if it's a match.
Like, and I know this is just a game, but it is also what Law and Order probably does. There's a burlap sack.
More burlap sacks of atrazine. The shed would make a perfect place to assault a victim. It's hidden, inaccessible. No way the nearest neighbor could hear anything. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Mr. Gondapur, where is your counsel?
I choose to represent myself in this matter, Your Honor.
Your Honor, Mr. Gandapur has ample resources with which to hire a whole team of lawyers experienced in defending clients charged with capital crimes.
Actually, Your Honor, my alleged co-conspirator and I wish to be tried together. We will be co-counselors, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we cannot have one defendant putting another on the stand.
Mr. Gondapur, are you and Mr. Jackson willing to be held responsible for your knowledge of court procedures, your ability to adequately cross-examine, and communicate your side of the story efficiently and effectively?
We are, Your Honor.
Then I see no problem with you representing yourself pro se. How do you plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
This is crazy.
Not guilty?
Well done, Mr. Jackson. The rest of you will see you at trial.
That is insane.
It doesn't take much imagination to see what's going to happen here. They'll each point the finger at each other and create enough reasonable doubt, and both of them will walk.
And acting as their own defense will give them total access to each other. Plenty of time to get their story straight.
Yeah, but Gandapur is a shark. He'll figure out how to put this all on Jackson somehow while he walks.
Then get Jackson to roll on him first.
Jackson's a sex offender on parole accused of murdering 8 women. What can we offer him other than life in prison?
A chance to tell his side of the story without Gandapur pulling the strings. Shoot for the moon. If that doesn't work, divide and conquer.
So, we're not really shooting for a decision
You
here.
solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give
A
is the whole
specific
truth without
conviction.
omission?
I do.
I don't know how this is gonna go. And see, this feels so much more important than the first half of these episodes. So I actually do want to have to... I do actually want to try and win this. Whereas I couldn't care if I got the wrong questions or clicked the wrong answers before.
What makes you think Patty Jackson and David Gandapur are co-conspirators in the deaths of these women?
Aside from the physical evidence, I believe Jackson worked for Gandapur.
How so?
I believe they form what's called a dominant-submissive pairing you sometimes find with serial killers who work together. As partners, they were able to fulfill each other's appetites. Jackson for sexual violence, Gandapur for murder.
Objection, Your Honor.
Should you stop Logan from theorizing? No. Let's see. Logan knows the true identity of the mango. Let him say it. Logan has a lot of experience. Let him talk anyway. Logan has physical evidence to back it up. Logan is a handsome cop and the women of the jury will agree with whatever he says. Wow. Logan has lots of experience. Let him talk. Anyway. Does he have physical evidence to back it up? I think this is the right one, so I'm gonna click this, but I don't know if it's true or not.
I'll rephrase. Based on the physical evidence, how in your professional opinion did Mr. Gandapur and Mr. Jackson work together to commit these murders?
Judging from the physical evidence found on the victims and in Mr. Jackson's work vehicle and in Mr. Gandapur's garden shed, Mr. Jackson would visit a place frequented by prostitutes, where he would pick one up, get them high on crystal meth, bind them, take them to Mr. Gondapor's shed, where they were sexually assaulted, and then murdered.
Let's ask about the other crime scenes, I guess.
Is there any evidence to suggest that either defendant was at Hunt's Point around the time the other victims disappeared?
No. There are a lot of prostitutes there, a lot of Johns, a lot of drugs. It's hard to find witnesses.
Oops, found the red herring. But that doesn't even matter. It didn't lose me any points or anything.
What caused you to think of Mr. Jackson when you became involved in the hunt for the Massapequa Mangler?
When I found out a lock of Wendy Crane's hair was missing.
Is that relevant? Yes. Why is it relevant? Taking of souvenirs was Patty Jackson's MO. That's what got us here in the first place.
Why was that significant?
Patty had the same MO with the women he raped.
Objection! I am not a pervert.
Mr. Jackson is a convicted rapist. The locks of hair he took from those women were trophies, souvenirs, if you will.
Overruled.
Yeah. Any objection they even try is not going to probably succeed. I don't see how you don't win this court case just because of there being no professional defense attorney
Most
around.
of the Mangler's victims were found in shallow graves around Nassau County, but Wendy Crane was found in Harlem, in plain sight. Can you explain?
Patty didn't follow the plan. You see, Wendy had defensive wounds on her hands and on her arms. Something went wrong in the van. Patty panicked and he strangled her. Then got spooked and tried to dump the body right there.
Is Detective Logan mistaken about the body? No, I don't think so. Let's see. Lock of hair taken from Wendy. We're still going pretty fast.
But not so spooked he couldn't stop and take a lock of her hair.
Correct. He had a knife, and
I don't
those trophies to be
know
extremely
what it would
important.
sound like if the audio was
Objection.
louder.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Overruled. Innocent until proven guilty is a civil right, Mr. Jackson, not a basis for objection.
We appreciate your time, Detective Logan.
For your testimony, the jury sides with the prosecution. The jury likes your case a little bit. You're ahead by 50 points. Trial part 29.
Detective.
Need to brush up on your legal objections. Argumentative. Defense is arguing with a witness. We're asking for effect alone. You expect us to believe this? Asked and answered. Hearsay. And badgering.
I bet you got a nice fat promotion when I got pinched, didn't you?
That's not the way it works.
You put the blame on me because you couldn't solve your case and you thought you were going to get fired.
No.
Let's see. Would you like to object? Not really. Because he's just going to make himself look bad. But I think the game wants us to.
Objection?
Let's see. Asked and answered, I believe. Or badgering.
The question has been asked and answered.
Objection overruled.
You're trying to ruin my life to protect a bunch of whores.
Would you like to object? Yes.
Objection, Your Honor.
Let's see. Argumentative. Hearsay. Badgering.
Badgering.
Mr. Jackson, I'm way past regretting the decision to allow you to defend yourself.
If I may, Your Honor, I would like to continue the cross-examination.
Keep it on point, Mr. Gondapour.
I am most curious, Detective Logan. How did you form your opinion on how my landscaper and I collaborated in the murders of these women?
I've been a detective for over 25 years, mostly in homicide.
Are you a psychologist?
No.
Criminal profiler? Any professional training on the psychology of serial killers?
No.
Well, your
Well, I
opinion
think
can
they all
hardly
would.
be valid, can it?
Would I like to object now? Yes.
Objection, Your Honor.
Let's see. Argumentative.
Argumentative.
Sustained. Enough, Mr. Gondapur.
What physical evidence did you find to suggest that either myself or my co-defendant are guilty of such ghastly crimes?
Clearly,
as the one
this is
suspected
all
of the
about the
so-called
physical
Massapequa
evidence.
Mangler?
Burlap fibers found in Wendy Crane's hair matched that found in Patty Jackson's van and in your garden shed. Probably most telling was a cutting tool we found in the same shed with Wendy Crane's blood on it. There was also duct tape and zip ties found in the van and the shed that were an exact match for ones found on other victims.
Anything in my home?
Not that I'm aware.
So you found evidence in Mr. Jackson's van. Evidence in my garden shed which Mr. Jackson had access to.
That's right.
None of my DNA nor hair samples, nor fingerprints found on any of the victims.
No. You were very careful in that regard.
Just one more question, Detective Logan. As a hedge fund manager, I made $25 million last year alone in salary and bonuses.
That's nice.
Do I sound like the type of person who does his own gardening?
Would you like to object?
Objection, Your Honor.
Is this hearsay?
Argumentative.
Sustained.
I object to.
What is this, some kind of Marx Brothers routine? Get your ducks in a row, gentlemen, or I'll start holding you in contempt.
Sit down, you imbecile. No further questions, Your Honor.
That didn't work as well as I would have hoped, but it still seems like we'll probably win this.
Gentlemen, to what do we owe the pleasure?
We've come to make you an offer, Mr. Cutter. One I think you'll find quite generous given the circumstances. What if Mr. Jackson were prepared to admit to being the Massapequa Mangler?
Just Mr. Jackson?
Manslaughter 2 for my co-defendant. 10 years, eligible for parole in 5.
And you walk away with what? A ticket for littering?
Aiding and abetting. 5 years in a minimum security prison where I am allowed to continue to manage investment funds for clients.
Is this a joke?
Life in minimum security. Murder 25 years. If I make a plea for life, I suppose that's what we're going for. Like, life for both of you. Like, we didn't even...
You cop to the murders, all of them. You and your co-defendant serve a life sentence in prison for each. I'll spare you the electric chair. You'll also pay restitution to the victims' families.
15 years, eligible for parole after 10. I don't have to remind you there's an election near. A sentence like this can be justified, but allowing us to beat the charges and go free, well...
Do I accept? No.
No deal, Mr. Gondapur. Take my advice and spend some of that money of yours on a lawyer. See you in court.
Gondapur and Jackson's will no doubt commit a number of legal errors. Be prepared to object. No expert knowledge is when a witness addresses the subject he has no expertise in. Asked and answered.
Mr. Jackson, when did
You
you
get a
begin
tutorial
working on
every
my
time.
estate in Brookville?
About 9 months ago.
Around the time the first of the Mangler's victims was found.
Yeah, I guess.
Earlier, Detective Logan speculated that we formed a dominant-submissive pairing, with you as the submissive. Could he be correct?
Would I like to be object? Why would I object? Let's say no.
No, that's gross.
The police found physical evidence relating to the murders inside your work van.
Interesting.
Did
I
they
lost
not?
15
Yeah,
points.
but that van belongs to the landscaping company.
Did anyone else have access to it?
Sometimes. Sometimes I'd leave it at the nursery. The other guys could have used it.
So many people with so much access to so much evidence. It would be very hard to say definitively who did what, wouldn't it?
Would I like to object?
Objection.
Let's go with leading.
Your Honor, defense is leading the witness.
Find a new line of questioning, Mr. Gondapur.
The police found some burlap sacks in my garden shed. Fibers from the burlap matched ones found in Wendy Crane's hair.
Imagine
Do you
fibers
have
from
any
one
idea how
burlap
those
sack
fibers
is
got on the
exactly
victim?
the same as
Ah,
every
no
other.
idea.
What were they for, those sacks of yours?
I bought some pesticide called atrazine. I have a license to buy it.
And you really have no idea how fibers from those sacks got on poor Miss Crane?
Let's see. Should I object?
Objection,
I
Your
think
Honor.
I'm supposed to every time. Asked
The
and answered.
question has been asked and answered.
Sustained.
Well, what are you asking me that for?
What about the cutting tool, Patrick? The one found in the shed. It had Wendy Crane's blood on it.
I don't know. Maybe someone was doing stuff in the shed, like at night. I didn't see it, or I would have called the police.
You have to admit it is damning evidence against the two of us, really. I mean, it was my shed.
I guess so.
You guess so. How did a bloody knife get into my shed without you noticing a thing?
I don't know.
Let's see.
Objection, Your Honor. The question has been asked and answered.
Objection overruled.
I lost by 15 points. But I'm still ahead by 45 points, so even if he does a great closing thing and I lose 25 points, I still should win. Even if he did a great closing argument and he lost by 45 points. Let's see. Murder and misogyny. The gardening shed.
What is it, Patty? What is it about these women that makes you feel so powerless, so angry?
I don't have to answer that, do I?
Don't look at him for help, Patty. You're on your own. Or haven't you figured that out by now?
Found a red herring. And they keep trying to make Patty out like he's this huge woman hater, and he really hasn't said anything or done anything on screen, at least, to prove that to be true. We're gonna probably want to focus on the gardening shed to put the blame on the other guy.
The cutting tool we found in the garden shed, the one with Wendy Crane's blood on it? I suppose you don't know how that got there either.
Nope.
What about the fibers found in Wendy Crane's hair? The ones from the burlap sacks of atrazine in the shed. Ones you put there.
Wouldn't
I
this
didn't
all
bring anyone
be
back
asked
there, okay?
and answered?
Could have been him, you know.
Can you prove it was not Gandapur? Nope. I can't prove it. So keep going, keep going. New topic's been revealed. So let's talk about this partnership now.
Let's see if I can paint an accurate picture of what happened to these women.
You do what you want. I'm through talking.
You pick a girl, you put them at ease, you give them some crystal meth to disorient them.
I don't give those chicks nothing. They bring it if they want it.
Can you connect him to the meth? Yes. It was found in his van. In the jewelry box.
Exhibit A. One jewelry box of your own design, found in the van you drove, with crystal meth inside a hidden compartment. You're quite the carpenter, Mr. Jackson.
Fine, yeah, it's mine. That doesn't prove I'm a killer.
Blood taken from your van was found to contain Wendy Crane's DNA. How did it get there?
I don't know.
Was Wendy Crane ever in your van?
No.
Yes, he's lying, obviously. Let's see. Curtis and Benson forced Patty to admit he killed Wendy. During the interrogation, Patty admitted he had Wendy in the van. There's no way to prove Patty was in the van. Patty previously admitted to giving Wendy Crane a ride to see her dealer. Oops, missed that one. But whatever, we're at 100.
I'm confused, Mr. Jackson. Because according to the statement you made to detectives, you claim to have let Wendy Crane in your van to solicit her services as a prostitute.
That's not true. They made me say that.
Did they put her blood in your van too?
I don't know how it got there, but it wasn't me.
Your co-counsel has been strangely quiet, Patty. Even you have to know he could have objected a dozen times to what I've had to say so far.
Why aren't you trying to stop her? She's badgering me, right?
Mr. Jackson, what will happen to you if you take the fall for the murders of these 8 women?
I guess Mr. Gandapur would go free.
Objection, Your Honor. Mr. Jackson doesn't know that. It's conjecture.
Sustained.
So you found your voice after all, counsel. No more questions, Your Honor.
So we won 30 points and we're up by 75. Let's go forward.
So what do you want, Mr. Jackson?
I want a deal.
Oh? What's your lawyer think?
Gandapur thinks I'm an idiot, but I know when I'm being set up.
You're a little late to that party, but I guess you got there. What are you offering?
Say I know what happened to those girls. Say I was there. Say maybe I had something to do with it, but I didn't kill them.
That might be worth something.
Accessory after the fact? That's 7 years no parole, but it's got to be concurrent with the time I got break and parole.
Concurrent?
Yeah, sometimes you can learn useful stuff in prison.
Let's see, so 20 years, no parole for an accessory after the fact. See, I don't really get the story here. It's like the thing here is that you're not really sure if this guy killed the women or not, but he certainly must have known what was happening. And he did murder at least one person. So am I willing to go 20 years, no parole, just to make sure Gandapur goes behind bars? Or should I say no deal? Because he did murder at least one person. Is 20 years enough for murder? I have to say no deal on this because he killed the prostitute, and 20 years seems too short for that.
Sorry, Patty, but all the evidence does point to you as being the killer. I'll take my chances putting you in jail for life where you belong, even if it means Gandapur walks. This is it. Our last chance to nail Gandapur to the wall.
Gandapur's slippery. Try to focus the facts in the cases, names and places. Avoid hot button topics that will allow Gandapur to distract the jury. Let's see. Passion heritage, the thrill of killing, evidence in the shed. Let's start with Angelica Moore.
What was it about Angelica Moore, Mr. Gandapur? Why is it you were so fixated on her that months after you were arrested picking her up, you sent Mr. Jackson here to kidnap her for you?
She was a woman in need who I tried to help and who took advantage. That is all. The arrest was a misunderstanding and the charges were dropped.
No. Jenny received a bribe from Mr. Gandapur to change her testimony. Bankroll said Mr. Gandapur bribed him to have Angela change her testimony. So that was it.
Misunderstanding? Are you sure? Because I have an affidavit by one Donald Deschamps, aka Bankroll, an associate of Angelica Moore's, who swears under oath that Angelica changed her testimony after he received a bribe on her behalf of $1,000.
That is ridiculous. He must have me confused with someone else.
Oh yeah, another person of Arab descent in Harlem who was arrested for assaulting Angelica Moore shortly before her death.
Are you trying to get a rise out of me, Mr. Cutter?
It doesn't seem to take much, Mr. Gandapur.
See, I assume we would want to mess with him and make him look bad on the stand. So let's go with the Pashtun.
You know what impresses me most about the Pashtun people?
I can't imagine.
Their code of honor. Zan, Zar, Zamin. Men are expected to protect women, gold, and land. In that order, I believe.
I am Pashtun, but I am also an American.
Oops, that didn't work well at all. I was thinking that that would irritate him and he would make fun of him being an Arab and then get him mad.
The police found quite a bit of physical evidence in your garden shed tied to the murder of Wendy Crane. Any idea how it got there?
Ask my gardener. I haven't set foot in that shed in months.
Has he said otherwise? We have to go way back this way. Way back here to see if that's... Interesting. Here's some tutorial stuff too. I'm in and out quite often. I like to do some of my own garden. Has he ever said otherwise? Yes, he has. There we go. Let's see, I'm trying to rush, but we're going a little long.
Tell detectives that you enjoy doing your own gardening from time to time.
That's true, in general, though this past year has been quite tumultuous, as I'm sure you understand. All of my energies have been devoted to my work.
I know you're a busy man, Mr. Gandapur. But still, you never saw anything suspicious while visiting the garden shed? Duct tape, cable ties, blood?
No, I didn't notice.
All of which were found in Patty Jackson's van, by the way. Curious, don't you think?
What are you implying?
Patty Jackson may have done the prep work for you, but you killed those women, didn't you?
Patty Jackson is a low-life criminal whom I thought reformed, and whom I tried to help. Never again.
The jury seems convinced by my case at 100 points, and this is where we'll end it. So almost certainly we'll click continue and just see a quick cutscene, and then we'll start the next episode. And just try to rush through this game more. Boy, am I bored with it. It's the same thing every time. I mean, literally, there's no room for variety. It's gonna be police investigation, questioning, looking for evidence, and then courtroom drama. And it's not even a good courtroom drama. There's a game, I don't remember the name of it, that's on the cell phone. I think it's called The Devil's Advocate, where you play a lawyer and you have all these special abilities and a point system that you use trying to win a court case. That's actually quite fun to play, but very unrealistic. I would much prefer to be playing The Devil's Lawyer right now than this. Or, you know, there's several other lawyer-based games that are crazy in their story, but more interesting to play. I just don't think real-world courtroom drama really works that well. Anyways, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.